There's a DHQ chicken gunned down in Manchester. Police are probing the murder of a dancer at a bar in Richmond District in Manchester on Thursday morning. Police named the woman as 26-year-old Britannia Francis, who goes by the alias DHQ Chicken, a resident of Britain District near Junction in St. Elizabeth. A police report said about 1:30 a.m., Francis was at the bar in Richmond, south of Manchester, along with the establishment's operators, when they were closing up to leave and loud explosions were heard. Francis was found suffering from gunshot wounds, and one of the windows in the door of a Toyota Voxy was also shattered by a bullet. Francis was rushed to hospital, where she died while undergoing treatment. Statistics from the police show that up to Saturday, May 3rd, there were 5 murders compared to 13 for the corresponding period in Manchester. This latest incident increases the number of people murdered in the parish to 6 so far this year. Man killed after allegedly attacking food vendor in Mandeville. Police are probing the stabbing death of a man after he allegedly attacked a fruit vendor near the New Green roundabout in Mandeville on Thursday. People at the scene identified the victim only by his alias Kello, a resident of Clarkstone district off New Green Road. Preliminary reports are that about 3 p.m., the men got into an altercation and a knife was used to stab the victim. Police said the incident is being treated as a homicide as they await further evidence to determine whether it was a case of self-defense or murder. Food vendors who spoke to reporters said the men have been at odds for months due to an alleged love triangle involving a woman. You see that one day we did, him used to out here a sell food too, but him left, and then I'll come here, come chop at the other one over one woman. A long time them at it, and this is how it ended, one of the vendors said at the scene. Police said the investigation is at an early stage, and a senior investigator was unable to confirm the theory given by the food vendors regarding the incident. The incident is the second homicide in Manchester within 24 hours. On Thursday morning, 26-year-old bartender Britannia Francis was gunned down at a bar in Richmond District. Prime Minister Andrew Holness calls on educators to embrace technology and prepare students for a dynamic world. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has called on educators to embrace technology and prepare students for a dynamic world. Speaking at a function on Teachers' Day at Macquarie University College, Dr. Holness noted that some Jamaicans think in short-term perspective, which can lead to less effective strategies. He said the next step for growth requires a transformation in the education system.
What I'm saying is the technology exists to do things that we previously thought were impossible. It is just that we haven't been able to apply the technology yet. The challenge that we have with our society is that we tend to think in very short term and very limited perspective. And as teachers, your job is to get your students, effectively your population, start to think more long-term and in multidimensional way. Yes, we are a poor country and we have to think about things in a kind of practical sense that, don't worry about that. That is, rich people problem. We have all kind of problems here, transportation, road, but it is that thinking that keeps us poor. We must start to broaden the thinking of our students. We are right at that point again when a new technology is emerging, artificial intelligence, that is going to add several folds to productivity. Almost every endeavor of humankind will benefit or can benefit from the integration of artificial intelligence, both in terms of the cyber and the cyber-physical, meaning the application of artificial intelligence into robotics. How do we make sure that the digital divide is bridged, that we leapfrog? It starts right here with our education system. The next step for growth requires a transformation in our education system.
Golden says Jamaica is underperforming in comparison to other Caribbean nations. Opposition leader Mark Golden says Jamaica is underperforming in comparison to a number of other Caribbean nations. Speaking at a town hall meeting in St. Anne last evening, the opposition leader cited recent economic gains such as reduction in unemployment rate and relatively low inflation. However, Mr. Golden said despite these gains, Jamaica has failed to keep up with the Caribbean neighbors such as Ghana, Barbados, and Trinidad and Tobago. Mr. Gordon said this is unacceptable. He said the People's National Party is committed to proper fiscal management, to increase the productivity of the nation, and to make citizens better able to take on the jobs of the 21st century.
How is it that we have stronger financial base as a country? We have good reserves. We have managed to bring unemployment down according to the official statistics. Inflation is relatively low and so on. Yet we can't produce growth. And the lack of growth means that the wealth per capita of our people, the wealth, if you share it among our whole population, our wealth is around 7,000 US per year is how much we generate annually. And this is way less than peers in the Caribbean region. Looking at countries like Trinidad, Guyana, Barbados, Antigua, St. Lucia, we are 2, 3, 4 times less well off than they are. And this is unacceptable because our situation is not that different to theirs. They're not blessed. Well, Guyana has recently been blessed with oil and gas, and Trinidad has had it for a while. But generally speaking, the economies across the region have somewhat similar circumstances, yet we are underperforming. We see it in many different aspects of life. We see it in the poor transportation system. We see it in the public health system being underfunded and under-resourced. We see it in the public education system not getting the necessary investments to transition from low performance to high performance. So we have to build a strong economy, and the People's National Party is absolutely dedicated to proper fiscal management, but also to looking at what we can do from a strategic perspective to increase the productivity of our nation, make our people better able to take on the jobs of the 21st century and grow wealth in the country. In order to achieve this, we feel that it's absolutely necessary that ethics, values and attitudes, a strong moral foundation must be at the center of how we govern.
JFJ launched JCF on purchase of body-worn cameras, calls for a timeline. Following a warm and cordial meeting with the Jamaica Constabulary Force, JCF advocacy group Jamaicans for Justice is lauding the police for the purchase of and intend to purchase several thousand more body-worn cameras, BWC, for officers, but says work remains to be done. We were informed that the JCF data storage infrastructure previously identified as a need has been completed. We welcome this update and critical step, which ensures that the system capacity and security to support expanded BWC use. We were all advised that the 750 BWCs are currently in use, with 674 deployed daily for beat patrol officers and those within the Public Safety and Traffic Enforcement Branch, and the remainder used for training, said JFG after the May 2nd meeting with the Police Commissioner and JCF High Command. JFJ has continuously spoken out about the rise in police killing and the lack of body-worn cameras being deployed on planned operations, resulting in a back and forth with the police, which culminated in a protest by JFG and counter-protest by citizens in favor of the police on April 29. In the meeting following the protest, JFJ says police have indicated that 1,000 new cameras were nearly procurement completion, with plans to acquire another 3,000 over the next 3 fiscal years. JFJ commends this financial commitment, but forces JCF to provide a clear timeline for the delivery of the 1,000 cameras, given its near completion status. The group said on Thursday in a statement, adding, "While we welcome the update by the Police Commissioner and the subsequent assurances by Prime Minister Andrew Holness, the proof of commitment lies in results." The group also acknowledged that there are drawbacks to the current BWCs that prevent them from being used in certain targeted operations, but call on the police to purchase specialized cameras that are rugged enough to handle them. We acknowledge concerns that current BWCs may be unsuitable for some planned operations due to design and functionality. Specialized BWCs would address these challenges, ensuring officer safety and public accountability, noting that some planned operations occur in daylight or early mornings or are less rigorous. Footage of pre- and post-events activities using the BWC being procured can still enhance accountability. For operations to require specialized BWC, a clear commitment to their procurement is essential, the group noted. The JFJ says it will continue to advocate for increased deployment of communities with historically low thrust levels in police and those under zones of special operations ZOZO as mandated by ZOZO legislation. The use of BWCs in planned and tactical operations, noting that planned operations accounted for 40% of fatal shootings in 2024, and procurement of specialized BWCs designed for tactical operations requiring a discrete approach and more rugged use. JFJ also maintained it was still deeply concerned about rise in police fatal shootings, citing 115 fatalities by security forces from January to May 2025, compared to 47 in the same period of 2024, a 145% increase based on preliminary INDECOM data. Frequently conflicting accounts in this incident underscore the use of BWCs to protect both the public and police, it said, and invited citizens, civil society, and media to join in monitoring BWC implementation. To subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.